Why are people who overthink everything unhappy? And why are they doing this to themselves? Today, we'll talk about the mystery of overinterpretation and about three overthinking behaviors that you should definitely avoid. Why didn't he respond to my message? Or why does it take so long to respond? Or worse, he ended the message with a period. Yes, a period. Apparently, researchers from Binghamton University report that text messages ending with a period are perceived as being less sincere. When a message featured an invitation followed by a brief reply, and that reply ended with a period, subjects rated the responses as less sincere than when no punctuation was used. Or this situation: you hear your boss say, "Not everyone can handle hard work," and you immediately think, "She must have seen me browsing through Facebook yesterday afternoon. Could it be that she heard me talking about her attitude in the cafeteria? What if she fires me? Or is it just a warning? But if I get fired, what am I going to tell my wife? Or maybe I'll work harder and show that heartless woman that I deserve respect. Or maybe I should start arriving at the office 15 minutes before 8? What about that girl I was texting with on Messenger? She ended our conversation with a mysterious, "Okay, I'll think about it." What does she need to think about? Does she think I'm ugly or boring? Or is she interested in someone else? What if she's abused and needs help? Maybe I should be her friend and help her. And what if she thinks that instead of wanting to be her friend, I want something else? You'd like to be prepared for all possible scenarios. For you, overthinking is like some medieval armor. You beat your chest and proclaim, "I'm ready, mentally and physically prepared for any bad scenario. Lay it on me." But there is little or nothing to gain from overthinking. And potentially there is a lot to lose. These are some dramatic examples of how this process of overthinking works. On a rational level, it is obvious that none of these people can be happy or peaceful. They are nervous and constantly panicking from that comment the boss made in a meeting or from the conversation with an attractive person. They end up with an endless list of interpretations. Today, we're going to focus on how to recognize these behaviors and what to do to avoid them or stop them in their tracks. Overthinking is harmful for the following reasons. You focus on the past. Instead of enjoying the present, you are focused on details and experiences from previous interactions. You fight with yourself about what you should and shouldn't do, and you change your behavior as if that person had bad breath and you had to get far away from their face. This is just an example, so you know what this process looks like. You take a comment someone made and interpret it in 1,000 different ways. A minor emergency at work and you think you're fired. If your boss says something negative, not only do you feel criticized, but insulted. A person with a little distance comes home, analyzes his or her situation, and moves on. But not the overthinker. He will always overthink, relive every aspect of an unpleasant encounter, and see 1,000 things wrong with his relationships. If you are an overthinker who thinks again and again about the past and always looking for a new answer, like, what did the artist have in mind? Not only are you hurting yourself and your self-esteem, but you're also wasting a lot of time. Try instead to focus on what is here now and what is positive. If your boss says something ambiguous, ask him what he really means. I know it's hard to do this in the moment, but it's better to spend 10 uncomfortable seconds clarifying a comment than the next 2 months thinking about the situation over and over again. The second reason why overthinking is a fatal characteristic. You create fantasies, movies, or scripts about the future that are usually negative, and you end up paralyzed. What if? And just insert any hypothesis here. As a father of a little boy, I constantly think of all the possible scenarios: the falls, the bruises, the scrapes, the bicycle accidents, kidnapping, drowning, fire, every bizarre and incredible idea that can be conceived in a parent's brain. And I agree that, to some extent, It's good to prepare for some of these scenarios, for example, by limiting the baby's access to the kitchen or covering electrical outlets. But many of these situations are simply improbable speculations that play out only in our heads. In many cases, these events won't happen, and if they do, it's nearly impossible to prepare for them anyway. Children are only one aspect of the issue. There are many situations in our lives that lead to overthinking, and there is one in particular that I encounter with some mentees in email exchanges. It goes something like this. I have a terrible job, I'm badly paid, I'm treated badly, my boss is crazy, I can't take it anymore. And then, but I have a family and a mortgage and I can't quit my job. A rational man would say immediately, just change jobs. With your experience, you can certainly apply to other companies. Sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Not for an overthinker, because for him, the obvious answer is, yes, but what if I don't find a new job? I had to learn how to respond to people like that and not lose my cool. But this kind of attitude is a bottomless pit of despair. This one question hides an entire kingdom of overthinking. You could just as easily ask, what if I die from a nuclear explosion tomorrow? I don't know, perhaps you'd just better rest today since tomorrow everything will be over anyway. Another scenario. An unpaid loan, a crying child, a collection agency calling you day and night, or sending countless resumes to various companies, all the while depleting your resources and living off your family's savings. That is, if you had any. It's a gallery of potential failures, which is easy to talk about because taking an active interest in threats is part of our nature. Stop for a moment and think about the probabilities of each of these situations. If you're not a pathological addict and do not have mental problems, what are the odds that some of these will actually happen? You will be fine. You'll find a new job, maybe a better one. Why do you always overthink these negative scenarios? You can use your imagination to create positive visions, maybe a new job, where you are respected, appreciated, and rewarded. Don't let overthinking stop you from making good decisions. Don't wait until you can no longer stand your old job or until your relationship breaks down. Start asking the right questions and acting now. The third, very negative characteristic of overthinking is that we focus on everything but what is important. The neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, that until 10 or 15 years ago dominated the psychological journals was largely based on theoretical trends. When someone has closed fists, he is ready for a fight. When she moves her legs in another direction, she doesn't like me. When someone eats with a fork and knife, it shows strength. And when someone eats with two knives, he or she is a psychopath. Okay, I invented that last one, but you see what I'm talking about. We focus on the details instead of the content. Rather than listening and absorbing the meaning, we focus on banal and useless details. You can see overinterpretation in internet forums as well. This approach usually goes hand in hand with self-esteem issues as we try to explain and understand our misfortunes. We see it in the comments section of our videos. Person A. So this is something we see in relations between men and women. Person B. So you think there shouldn't be a relationship between two women or two men? Person A. No, I'm only saying this because it's my case. Person B. And that's how the endless exchanges of comments on our videos begin. It's not really important, I just wanted to illustrate the patterns of overthinkers in the online culture. The overthinker avoids thinking with substance and ties himself to any small details as evidence of his imaginary thesis. We're not Sherlocks, it doesn't work that way. We can't deduce what others think from small details or minor comments. Still, this is a serious cause of stress these days. What should you do when a person changes his attitude towards you? If you talk to them and they give you the reasons why they have changed their behavior, you overthink it. Is he telling the truth? Doubts about future events and a strong need for control are the basic characteristics of overthinkers. We all have uncertain future, and it is not so good to know what the future holds. Sometimes it is better to stop thinking and live every day enjoying the nuances that life presents. Stop checking everything on the internet 100 times a day. Stop being suspicious of your friends and family. Avoid trying to control everything around you. I hope you enjoyed the material we presented today about overthinkers and overinterpretations. Don't forget to let us know if you liked the video, and if so, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your time, and as always, be extraordinary.